What's up, Bug Doug with Deanie in the Garage? You know I read a lot of automotive news, and sometimes I like to pluck some stories from the headlines and bring them on over to you guys. Here are 5 quick stories that I read over the weekend that I had either a positive or negative reaction to. Thought I'd share them with you. First and foremost, I'm going to say something nice about Ford. You better mark the calendar. This doesn't happen all that often. I was reading this weekend, Ford has a new small pickup truck. I hear what you're saying. Hey, buddy, Ford already has a small pickup truck. It's called the Ranger. Nope. Think smaller. Truck we're talking about is going to be 1 foot shorter than the Ranger, 2.5 feet shorter than the F-150. They're calling it the Ford Maverick. It's going to be a hybrid. Hate the name. When I hear Ford Maverick, I do not think hybrid pickup truck, but that's okay. We already know from the Mustang Mach-E that Ford cannot be trusted with their own nameplates. Now, why did this truck get me so jazzed? It's not because it's small. It's not because it's a hybrid. It's because of how darn cheap they're going to sell the thing. They're starting it at under $20,000. Under 20 grand. All right, now what I think Ford did was they realized all these people out there buying Hyundai Santa Fe's and Kia whatevers, they'd probably rather have a pickup truck option. Even your Honda Civic drivers probably rather have a pickup option, but couldn't afford the darn things because pickups have gotten too big and too expensive. Because why? Everybody's got to have leather seats, heated steering wheel, cooled seat bottoms, AM, FM, XM, ZM, QM radio, and everything else. No, let's just offer them a simple, bare bones, small pickup truck like we used to do in the 80s. Ford, thank you. I've got time for it. When that thing comes out, I may even consider it as a daily driver. Moving on, I mentioned the Hyundai Santa Fe. Let's talk about a vehicle that I was brought to from the Ford Maverick page, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Hyundai saw what Ford did, or Ford saw what Hyundai did. Doesn't really matter. Hyundai's doing the same thing. They're bringing a small pickup truck offering to the market. Unfortunately, theirs is friggin' hideous. It looks like a Subaru Baja got drunk and went home with a Honda Ridgeline. And 9 months later, this Santa Cruz popped out. That's what it looks like from behind. From the front, it looks like a child's drawing of a sedan with their non-dominant hand. I don't know who's designing these vehicles, but they're certainly not the people they expect to be buying them. That said, you will probably see hundreds upon thousands of these new Santa Fe pickup trucks rolling around just like you did the hideous Ridgelines when they came out. Moving on down the line, Chevy did something absolutely amazing. Are y'all familiar with the start-stop technology? That's where you get to a stoplight, you take your foot off the gas, put it on the brake, and your engine turns off. Then you take your foot off the brake and it turns back on. All new cars have it, I don't know, for at least the past 5 years. I know my wife's Durango does now. In some cars, in all cars, you can turn it off. In some cars, like the Durango, you have to turn it off every time you get in. It resets and it defaults to on. I believe Eric has a Subaru where he turned it off once and he never had to deal with it again. It doesn't matter. I hate this feature. I hate it now, but I'm gonna hate it even more in 15 years when that starter's not quite as strong anymore. I know what you're thinking. New cars not meant to last 15 years. Sad, but true. Chevy's removing it from some of its 2021 and 2022 big boy trucks. If you get the big V8 options with the big 10 speeds, you don't have to deal with the start-stop. Now, let's clarify. It's not because GM heard our cries for reform and are just doing what they can to give the people what they want. No, there's a global microchip shortage, and it was either don't make the trucks at all or make them with less technology. But still, I hate that feature, and it's enough to make me consider a 2021-2022 Chevrolet GMC pickup truck. Sadly, though, the 2021 and 2022 GMC and Chevrolet pickup trucks are still ugly as sin. They didn't do anything about the front end. No big deal. Speaking of pickup trucks not having things that they should, Ram is recalling 500,000 trucks, not your little boy, not your brodozers, but your 35, 45, and 5500s, 500,000 of them, no big deal. Back wheels fall off. They got the dualies out there, and they seem to, I guess Mopars threw out the wrong torque specs for the rear studs, and you're over tightening them, and the studs break, and your wheels fall off. But here's the thing, you got 4 back there. I figure you can lose 2 at least, possibly 3, and still get where you're going decent. How's the old saying go? If you can't dodge it, ram it, right? There we go. Moving on to Jeep. What has Jeep done to piss me off today? Well, it's the same old thing. Jeep is terrible at naming vehicles, and they just can't be trusted with their own nameplates, all right? They formally announced the 3-row Grand Cherokee. That's not breaking news. We knew that was coming. We've talked about it before. I'm excited about it. I like it. That's fine. Make a 3-row Grand Cherokee. What are they calling it? The Grand Cherokee L. Well, that's clever. Does it stand for Grand Cherokee Long? Congratulations. I just called it the Grand Cherokee 3. Now here's the problem I have. Not only do you already have the 3-row Grand Wagoneer and the 3-row regular Wagoneer clouding all this up, you already have a name for a 3-row Grand Cherokee if you are Jeep. What do you call a 3-row Grand Cherokee? I'll give you a hint. It came along in 2006. It's the Commander. A 3-row Grand Cherokee is a Commander. You've already set a precedent. When you build a 3-row vehicle on a Grand Cherokee platform, you call it the Commander. Don't be bringing in this Grand Cherokee L stuff. That's just lazy and it sounds dumb. And what I don't think Jeep realizes is that the Commander had a pretty loyal following. We owned one and I loved it. Project Dan owns the Hemi. He let me drive the darn thing. Whoo, buddy? It'll break your neck, I tell you what. So those are the stories that tickled my fancy or got me a little hot under the collar. You know I'm always a little hot under the collar. I'd love to know what's in automotive news that you've been reading about. What's getting you excited? What do you think about these stories? Are you going out to buy the Maverick, or are you more of a Santa Cruz man? Or is that new Chevy lack of start-stop going to pull you away from Mopar and Dodge and make you turn into a Chevy man? And will you be buying a 3-row Grand Cherokee, peeling off the L and writing Commander like I will, or would, if I could afford a new Grand Cherokee? Which I can't. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out our website, monkeywithatoolbox.com. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.